And we are live on Soma, Fusion, Mind, Body, and Soul. This is a call-in show. The phone number is on Facebook, and we're also live on YouTube. And I'm really excited to have Lisa Watzl, because she is, oh my gosh, Lisa and I go way back, but welcome, Lisa.
Hey there. Hi, everybody. Hey, Veronica.
Hola, Lisa.
Yeah,
we were supposed to have Artemis on, but there was a confusion. She couldn't get in Wi-Fi, or it was another day. She thought it was yesterday, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you? In Austria? Where are you right now?
I am in Austria. Yeah, I am in the forest quarter, you could say. There, yeah, it's a part of Austria, in Lower Austria. Anyway, yeah, it's very rural.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Rural.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lisa and I, well, and Artemis and Glenn Roos and others. It's John Post and another lady, I forget her name. We were it's been a good 3 years now that when I had, I was getting my super soldier memories back. I really didn't know who to contact. And the first person that contacted me out of the blue was Glenn Roos, and he's in South Africa. I've already done a live with him. And he put me in contact with Lisa, Artemis, John Post, and the rest. So you were the one that helped me, Lisa, and this other starseed brother, Osiris Ra, he because he did an interview with me and saw and I put up my phone because he's like, I want to see your face, your aura, or whatever. And he said that that my left side was my robotic side, or whatever, that one of the altars that they had for me. And he says that he saw the black, what they call the black octopus, tied onto my back, and that's where they had me in the Regent tanks hanging, especially when it was the Hulk program. And I was just barely getting my memories. And when Glenn put us in contact, we did a group chat, and Lisa was able to help me to heal myself through just talking to each other and saying, we're gonna, you sent me some Reiki healing, and I saw in my mind that the black octopus had gone to yellow and then white and then no more. So thank you, Lisa, for helping me with that. Why don't you tell our guests your YouTube channel and what is it that you do, and how you first found out that you were also a crystal or a starseed, a star, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have a YouTube channel. Currently it's on private, or it's set on private, but I will do some adjustments to it. So the YouTube channel itself is dedicated to creating a space for perception, or to just create different angles to view things, because in my perception, everything is a matter of perspective. And so peace, or the well-being of everybody, just depends on how you look at things. And it drastically changes the way we experience thereafter. So that was the intention behind it. The first time, there was no really first time I understood that I'm a bit different in perceiving things. I just understood that everybody is very unique and different. But I had a very beautiful vision of everything being unified as a gigantic crystal, as a gigantic crystalline structure. That was one of the most beautiful visions I ever had. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, I hope I covered everything. If not, please tell me. But yeah.
So, what abilities do you have? I know you have the healing. What made you start the channel? What is your mission, in other words, like currently, and like how you started? Do you guys hear that interference? Do you hear an interference? Or just me?
I don't hear anything at the moment.
Okay, hopefully this will be better.
So abilities, I for myself, I am very, very drawn to physically interacting with people. I'm actually a massage therapist, and it's very, very interesting when you touch somebody how the energy works with your energy. So that is very, very, yeah, it's an endless pool of possibilities. Yeah, sorry, lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, abilities. I'm a very visual person. So when I picture something, I get a very clear vision. It's not intentional, but it's very much open, and I just receive a lot of imagery and feelings and different energies that are corresponding with the images or the vibration that I pick up on. So yeah.
And did you have these abilities since you were little, or when did you find out that you were different?
I was always very, very empathic, meaning it was pretty normal for me to feel others' feelings and to be in others' energy field. One could say I actually cannot remember a time that it has not been that way. So it was, yeah, always. So this is something very intrinsic.
Do you have you seen that movie Dark Crystal with the Skeksis, and how it has two suns? And that's actually, they're talking about Cyrus B, and those are the crystal cities, and there's 13 gates. I don't know if you've ever had memories of being there.
Not directly of what you're talking about. When you prior were talking about, I think this was before the live recording, when you were talking about being underwater or a mermaid expression, that all of a sudden triggered something very, very profound, very, very profound images. So there is definitely a lot of memories that are still floating within me that are wanting to be seen, I want to say. So yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. So I have a few questions, some that I gathered and some from the public. Would you want to start now or?
As you wish, I'm very flexible.
Thank you. Okay, so one of the questions was, how do you figure out the code of life or code to life?
That I love that question. It's so broad. As you said, you could spend so much time on it. Yeah. How you figure it out? There is something that everybody, yeah, we all look different, and that's not coincidental, but that is also part of our frequency that just is captured in matter, one could say. So there is no way you could be anything else but yourself in a way. And everything that you perceive, everything that you gather in your life's path is an aspect of your frequency. So when you go out to go for a walk, you have different thoughts, for example. And while you walk, the different thoughts manifest on your walk, in your experience. And so how you get your life code is by seeing yourself, you could say, because we are intrinsically that crystal that does not move or that does not do anything but exist and is one completely. So we experience this all over again, everywhere we go. Yeah. So I hope that is a satisfying first answer to this.
Yeah, and you can expand. I mean, we have, I mean, 2 hours, or we could do an hour and a half, whatever. It's up to how we're flowing, and if
Okay.
somebody calls in or has questions on YouTube or Facebook. Yes, I since I was little, I love playing outside, climbing the trees, playing with the boys, with the trucks and the marbles and chase and tag and just living life outside. I truly loved it. And when I started the weight loss, the fat loss, what I call, because weight, we need our muscle.
Mhm.
I started speaking to the sun more, and because the sun is a portal, and I came in through the sun portal, or some people call it a black sun. And and so what I would do is, I would leave my place about, before the sun would go up, an hour before, depending if it was winter or summer, and I would put my things that I needed for that day, my suggestions, whatever, if my family needed something, my kids or myself, I would talk to the sun and Mother Earth and say, this is what I need, and or this is what so and so needs, and I would see it manifest in my mind, and that totally helped me. Like if I knew that I was just going to go once that week, I would see it either manifest that day or during the week or the month. So, you know, um,
Wow.
a lot of people say, well, you have to wear, suntan, whatever lotion. And I stopped wearing that because I heard a rumor that it was compromised. Okay. I would even wear the 100% Neutrogena on my face and then do the spray. And when I heard that, because of the chemtrails that they're showering the earth with, unfortunately, still, that it had contact with that particular with the particular chemicals. And I stopped using it. I also, when I changed my diet and things like that, I totally changed what I used as deodorant. I started using the magnesium charcoal one. That for me has, because I'm like, why our underarms are not supposed to be dark, and why do you smell? Why? Well, now that I started using that, my underarm doesn't smell. I changed the shampoos that I use. Um, when I was a kid, I don't know if you experienced this. I had a lot of breathing problems. I would have pneumonia, asthma, all this stuff, and my mom would be giving me this big green pill that was for allergies. And it just seemed left and right. If I coughed, if I sneezed, oh, take this, take that. I got to take you to the doctor. Blood draws after blood draws. I'm like, my goodness, and now if whatever, if I don't feel well, or if I'm tired, or, something, I'll put myself in my bath water, which is the pink Himalayan salt. I'll add some baking soda and some lavender or apple cider vinegar, to pH balance it. And ever since then, I've seen the change. Your body actually is an organ, obviously, and it talks to you. So
Yeah, absolutely right. But beautiful and brilliant, everything you said. The body itself it's I don't want to say it's a machine, because machine has this artificial touch to it, but it is a working, living organism on its own. The body and the soul are intrinsically interwoven together. But yeah, so everything you said is amazing. I just want to expand on it. I learned while awakening into higher and higher degrees of understanding of myself, that the body talks very loudly with one. or with the mind, you could say. So when your blood sugar or when your blood sugar levels rise, you tend to have cravings for sweets, water, or whatever your body will tell you. So what you said about the sun is very, very important, because when sunlight hits the skin, there is a vitamin produced within. It's vitamin D, and vitamin D could be depicted as an original blueprint, or activating the original blueprint, you could say. I'm just seeing an image of when you picture a stone and sorry, sun rays hitting the stone, and you could actually see a little bit into the matter, into the dense matter. That's how it works. Your body is matter, but when sunlight hits your matter, it gets lighter. That's kind of a way to picture it. So one of the things that you also said is the chemicals that are in shampoos or deodorants, etc. That's a very, very important part when you're consciously aware of it, because a regular, normal person doesn't pay attention to things like that usually. They do, but it gets finer and finer, and you pay more and more attention to things that you want to adjust to what you think is ideal for yourself, or what you feel. Your body will give you the feedback. So when it comes to products that you put onto your skin, it's a very good idea to look at them in a way of, I just want something that is natural, that serves the purpose of cleaning, or that serves the purpose of like oil, when you put oil onto your skin to just soothe it. But there is much more necessary, like, yeah. One thing that is really, really a big topic, it was a very, very big topic for me ever since I became vegetarian. I'm now vegan, but I became a vegetarian at the age of 12, something around that age. I did it for the animals because I was always so empathic that I felt like I would be better off without meat. I still haven't consumed meat ever since, which is something that I find very optimal for myself. So
What's your kitty cat's name? Adorable, by the way.
That one.
Yeah.
They're both very adorable. That is Pallas. Yeah, that's Pallas and that's Magellan. They're so adorable. Yeah, animals are like angels incarnated into tiny bodies for me. So yeah. One thing I want to say, nutrition and what you eat is something very personal for every single being, and that is a process that will become more relevant the more you awaken, or at least for me it was that way. So yeah.
I'm going to ask a question. Katie or Lisa, do you all have radio or anything on? Because I hear them. They're here. I hear them talking through the radio, like in a handheld radio. Do you all have like TV on or radio or anything on?
No,
You,
I
Katie?
don't have anything.
Yeah, they keep communicating. I'm trying to ignore them, but I have a lot of radio communication here. It's two men talking. But anyway, yeah, we can get into the health and all that too. And I'll go ahead and read the questions a little later. But yes, someone gave me a book called the How to Eat According to Your Blood Types, and it said the 4 blood types. So I tried to go vegetarian for 3 months, and I saw that my hair was falling out, and I didn't I I didn't want to go back to eating the meat, but the O negative blood type needs it. For me personally, like you said, it's a personal choice. I would cry when I had to eat like chicken or beef because I'm like, we're animals. And but I figured, well, if I just thank the being for giving up its life, just saying thank you, and doing Reiki on my food and talking to my food, especially my water. I talk to my water all the time. Um, and I'm very careful what I think about when I'm eating, because it's a molecular structure, and our cells are listening to us, and our thoughts and our DNA changes every day. Like I've said before, when people go to get blood draws, usually they say it has to be like at 9 or before 9 or something like that, because our blood changes every morning. And you know and detox right now with what's going on is very important to do. How are things there in Austria with the thing that's going on? I'm not going to say the name, but how are things over there, Lisa?
uh, Pretty absurd. So they're pretty, yeah. Um, it's actually all of what the government does isn't really rightful, in a way of the law does not back them. So it's a process. They're doing something and the law catches up. But they have already done the next thing. So that's pretty much how it's going here. But it's, yeah, as you can picture, in Germany, they're pretty strict and pretty, yeah, there's something similar in Austria. But right now we have summer, so it's a little easier or looser. So
The gym's still open there?
what is open? Sorry, couldn't hear.
Are the gyms still open there, or?
I'm not very certain. I do have my own gym at home, one could say, but I don't know. I think so, but yeah. For the summer, probably, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start with the questions. Is that good with you?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something. What I said in regards to nutrition. The most profound thing is when you feel good, regardless of what you're consuming, your food will have the same frequency. It's just a personal process for me that this is something very, very expandable. But yeah, so as long as you're feeling good, the food that you will consume will be a frequency match. So
Do you have what we call here cheat days?
cheat days. I am I love sweet things, I do have to say. But ever since I started the vegan diet, I do have to say I feel pretty amazing, because I feel like I can eat anything at the moment. Like every craving, I ate some beans late at night yesterday. They were delicious, but I wouldn't do it when I eat normal, because I'm thinking, oh, it's too late, blah, blah, blah. But since it's only plants, it's very lightly digestible, regardless. They're beans, but yeah. So my cheat days are every day now. I'm drinking chai. It's also pretty amazing.
Yeah, I crave sweets too. So what I do is I buy the organic, it's a German honey, and it says it's all natural supposedly, and it's so good. And
Oh.
so at nights I'll get the craving. It's funny that you said that you ate beans, because I made beans last night. That's what I had for dinner, and and the day
Really?
before. So it just seems like, you know, like our bodies right now are craving, um, you know, grounding. Like some of my other friends are saying that, you know, SSP group is saying that, you know, they've been eating more potatoes. And um, three of us in the group had this thing a few days ago where we had to, our bodies were telling us we had to detox. You know, this is before we started with the grounding foods. And we were able to eliminate, like they say, what was hurting us. And so it's just, it's weird how we're all connected. Some people call it the hive mind, but I call hive mind more like AI. And to us that are crystal beings, you know, we read each other's thoughts. I mean, I'm sure you've been listening to me talk to you, especially these few days. It's like, I'll get to your question soon, or I can't wait to see you. Um, and wishing you and Artemis well as well. Um, it's just funny because, and I'll get to the questions, but I just want to go with the flow. Um, 2 years ago when I started it's going to be 2 years in September the 3rd, three. Um, my body just said, you gotta start exercising, you gotta start eating right. Then I started the menopause last July, and I didn't know what was happening. The Hulk would come out. I just wanted to eat everybody up, you know, and I'm like, what's happening? I'm sweating like crazy. And um, sometimes I think that the menopause itself is like a program, like a switch that they placed in us, the Anunnaki, when they made the bodies. Because why would we really have to go through that, you know? I feel I went through a premenopausal state because I actually had my cervix and uterus removed. Um, and it was due to endometriosis. I was having a lot of pain, and you know, but I don't think they should have taken my cervix. And it took me a long time to recuperate. I was swollen, bloated, you name it, for months, you know. And so anyway, I don't drink estrogen because I don't want anything foreign in my body now that my body is clear, right? Um, have you done any studies on things like that, or family members that have gone through stuff like that?
I have a history of, I really, at the age, I was getting my period quite early. I think I had it at 10. It depends on the body weight, and I was quite heavy when I was a teen or even earlier. And it was so bad that I needed to go to the hospital because something, yeah, an emergency surgery I had to go through. So I know I myself have a history of severe pain in that regard. The body, or the biomechanisms of the body, are consciously driven, or they are based on one's own consciousness. So there are certain trigger mechanisms that, for example, start the period and end it as well, menopause. There are ways. For me, nutrition was the way to complete health, I want to say, because I feel so vital, I feel so alive. But one thing that really helped relieve hormonal pain, or pain caused due to hormones, was to reduce or leave out animal products like cheese, milk, or lower fat, just for a little while. Or fasting is a very good process of resetting the body and the cells. There are many things one can do to readjust one could say. So as far as I know, there is, when we look at our DNA medicine, modern medicine says that they know about 5% what they're doing. So they uncovered what 5% of our 100% DNA are doing. So 95% are still in the unexplored area, at least as far as we know. But there are mechanisms that switch on, for example, certain strands within the DNA. And that is a very, very interesting mechanism. There is a scientist named Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn that when I looked more closely at or into her work, because she undertook a study on telomeres. And telomeres are like protective caps that protect our DNA. And they're amino acids that just the longer they are, the younger you appear, or the younger your body will be. The shorter they are, the older we appear. And she had a study where she was looking at, I think it was moms that had children with special needs or something. I think it was particularly the group. So they had a very tough life, you could say, and their telomeres shortened significantly during the process of taking care of the children because it was quite hard. But, and that's the very, very beautiful and profound understanding from this study, that telomeres can grow back. Telomeres, or this protective mechanism that just ensures that your DNA is intact, they can grow back, meaning one can become younger again. The body can rejuvenate. That is something that is scientifically backed and proven as well. So yeah, there is a lot we can explore on this topic of the body. So,
yes, that's I'm so excited that you actually did mention that, because maybe that's what I was talking to when I speak to my DNA and my mRNA. I speak to them. I speak to the cells that are actually. I speak to my electrons, neutrons, protons. I see them in my mind expanding and making new ones, especially when I'm in a lot of pain. And yeah, so I'm glad that you were saying that, and I do understand that that could happen because the mother is actually expanding all of her energy on the child, and I know it's really hard. Believe me, I my two children, here they call it ADHD. I have that as well. I have to like really be careful and calm myself, because I'm nonstop. And then they had labeled my son ADHD and things like that. And they also had, to this day they have PTSD like I do, but they're working through it. And I tell them that these are just labels, but there's always a reason for it. And also in the secret space programs, I now know that most of the reasons why we had so much pain during our menstrual cycle is because of the projects we were in. Some projects were the breeding programs and things like that. So, but because we are made of star, right? We are ever beings. We have existed before and after time. Time does not exist up there where we belong. Here, time exists because they have what they call father time, and they have the matrices, and they have what they call gravity. And however, if we cleanse ourselves, I strongly believe, and if we are constantly awakening and asking our our higher self, which is in us, in our heart, which is a crystal portal, we can ascend, and that's the ascension. I don't believe in the whole love and light ascension itself. I get parts of it, but in a way, I feel that that's also a psyop through the Galactic Federation wanting for people to go to the ET's ships and have their battery used as, because we are a Merkaba. And so I tell people, you have to save yourself. You have to heal yourself. Because I know you counsel people too, we are not here to be a pill or a band-aid. We can help you, you know. So through our own life and our own experience here on Earth, I feel that there are thousands, if not billions, of starseeds here. You know, the only thing that I saw, the 144,000, it could be the ones that are here to help Mother Earth ascend, meaning, and what I mean by that is the galactic wars that are going on right now, what I call the God Wars, because they are warring to find out who's going to go with them, who's going to go with this, with the different entities, who's going to go with the different ETs, who's going to go, you know, there's two sides warring right now, and it's been going on for billions of years. But now that we have awakened to our missions, we're here, and there's 144,000 at the ready. You know, we're going on missions. When, you know, just this morning, I woke up thinking that today was Thursday, and I'm like, where was I? And they took one of my SSP brothers. I'm not going to mention his name because I still have to call or message him, because they know that, you know, the wars are going on against the queen, right? The white queen, as well. And we're trying to save the children, trying to get rid of this pedophilia crap that's going on, etc., etc. So me and my SSP brother, they took us outside. We were like in one of the mansions that I speak about, and they gave us a injection on our left side of our calves. And I woke up so dizzy. I'm like, okay, well, we're over here doing missions, but they try and stop us even in when we go astrally or when we go physically, because most of the time we go physically. You know, it's just that there's time dilation and things like that. And so that's why I was like, okay, well, wait, I thought today was the show for Thursday. So I started messaging everybody, and they're like, no, Veronica, today's Tuesday. I'm like, oh crap. And then there's another lady that was telling me, wait, what day is it today? Like, there is time displacement, which we call you know, regress. They regress us to an age here when they take us. Have you seen that movie Interstellar, where Matthew McConaughey goes back to find his mom and she's older? Because you don't age in space, you know? What do you think about all that?
So everything you said was so interesting. For myself, I found the perspective that in regards to love and light being a psyop, I thought about this so many times, because when you're feeling quite vulnerable when you're just loving people. But the most profound understanding that I gained is when we are all one, and so many people have come to this understanding that we are all intrinsically one, then love is the connecting part that holds everything together. And for that reason, in love, you are the strongest. There is nothing that could outweigh love, you could say. So I had several experiences where I was just letting go of everything and just based myself or anchored love in, and it always made me feel better. It gave me a different understanding. What you're talking about in regards to the wars or wars going on, It is part of an experience. Can, or how to put this, when everything is one and static and experiencing itself, then time will be one, but experienced as two. That just creates friction, one could say, to experience itself. But in the end, we're infinite, and we're infinite souls that can only exist. Or no. So that was what I wanted to add in regards to love being a very, very powerful energy, or the most powerful energy for me. So time itself is, in my perception, one thing happening after the other. So when you align to something energy-wise, then you draw in certain experiences. And that is, I think, what's going on with different time experiences, that when you're in a different energy, you experience a different time, you could say. So what the 144,000, for example, can do is to uphold a reality, an energy pool of wanted experience, to anchor it in and to create a time space for the collective and for the planet, for a process to unfold. That is what we are doing, thinking, or feeling, knowing. So I think can you again repeat the last question? I think it was. Or
something to do with what's going on right now with the wars, the galactic wars that are going on right now with the bad Draco, the NA/ZI, the bad grays. They're trying to still try and feed on us, energetically wise, and they're upset because we found out what they're doing, who they are. We're exposing them. We're exposing how I call the dark crystal. And what I saw is that because we do come from the crystal being, or we are, stars that can go anywhere. I know we are the fallen angels, that the Bible unfortunately says that we are bad and we're not. Everything here in Earth is upside down. So I believe that because we can call it the bioluminescence that is in our that is crystalline in our bloodline and our blood and our eyes. If you see somebody, you see the mirror being reflected to you of what you as a person, not you in general, but I'm not you, but in general, have not cleared. So that's a reflection, and that's why, people tend to run away from what they need to do as far as clearing their mirrors and their hurts, their past pain. And past, present, and future here is occurring at the same time. The bioluminescence is actually also in the dragonfly. And so they've taken, blood samples of that and created things. So the bioluminescence itself, which I call the blue crystals, is of course it could change color, whatever. It is a sentient being that comes from within us. When they capture us, or they mine, to this day they're mining asteroids. It's a sentient being that can be programmed. That's why when we are placed in this body, when the Anunnaki, Enlil, and Enki made this body out of because they had the Homo erectus, and then they decided to make a human. So they crossed, they put some DNA of theirs with ours and vice versa. That's why some of us are more, I was born with blonde hair, hazel eyes that turn, green, or blue, depending on my mood or whatever. And then we have the darker, the melanin dominant, which we all come from that crystal being. So a lot of people think it's spirit. A lot of people think it's a mother. Some say it's mother, father, but I don't like to label that because I wouldn't want anybody to call me just, just one side, one sex, because here on earth is where they made us be either female or male, or because we do everything like you were saying in the beginning, duality pretty much, the dark, the light. And what I try and teach people on an individual basis is we need to face those dark entities, that whether it's the secret space program, SS, super soldier, or just trauma growing up as a child, or you know everything goes through the eyes, right? If you're watching movies, things like that go through your eyes, and then your body's like, oh my gosh, freaking out. So whatever those dark entities and the light, we have to face them. We have to shine the light on it, and we need to embrace like they say, embrace your demons. Look at yourself in those mirrors, and get all your altars, like Goddess Kali, she has, she's representing all of our altars that we have, and we all have to become one within ourselves, in our heart chakra. And our chakras go beyond, because when we were in Lemuria and Atlantis, we as scientists, and other scientists created the chakras for the humans. So we were engineers, we were mermaids, we were dragons, we were lions, whatever we wanted to be before we ended up in Lemuria and in Atlantis, we could be. And even now, that's why they say, when they say, oh, Veronica, you shapeshifted, I can see the slit in your eyes, or you went AI, robotic, or your face moved. And it has a lot to do with, like you said, we can feel the energies around us and within us, what's going on within us, right? The crystals, how are the crystals forming? So we have to be mindful of our gates, what I call the 111 at the 4, the 111, the 1111. Some people call it the Lionsgate Portal. All the numbers to me are significant, like 333, 999, 666, 444. 444 to me is like the masters maybe coming to give you a message or whatever. Because when I did have my awakening and I went through it, what I call my awakening is I found myself, trapped in underground base in Antarctica as a mermaid dragon. And somehow I found a way to go out again to space, right? And boom, come in through my heart portal. And now I am me. I am me. I am my higher self. I am all of whatever they decided to create for me in these programs. I am now me. I am integrated. And then that's what they don't want us to know, is that we are like, actually, I don't like to label us gods, because we're more than that. We come from the higher realms. And right now, going back to the God Wars, that's pretty much what's going on. It's, the religion, the politics. Let's keep them, the puppet masters are trying to create us to be puppets. And no, we're here. We're here for other things, right? Lisa, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely right. I'm just thinking that the current situation is so energy intense because it's just ebbing out. But that's usually what happens when the energy has to be so we want to move somewhere else collectively. So I really, really need a very, very short break because I need to pee really, really bad. I'm sorry.
Okay, me too.
I'll be back. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
If you don't mind playing one of my songs that I sent you, if it's not, like, you know what I mean? I'm going to pause it, and then I'm going to go ahead and